beat his ass for
can't
y'all.
do wait.
For
I don't
real.
give
I better be quiet.
I don't
Y'all
give a
better be
y'all was
all that
quiet.
ski
Y'all,
mask
if
and
y'all
all
was
that.
loud,
got
what
the
y'all
hood
fucking
over
talking
there,
about?
Like twisted up. I don't give a
Y'all
about none
can
of
do
that.
what.
Gervonta Davis and Lamont Roach scheduled to have a rematch sometime this summer, maybe early fall. All indications based on the announcements that we have is that the fight is more than likely going to happen in August, right?
And Gervonta, you think?
I like Lamont in the rematch.
I think you were one of the few that kind of picked Lamont too.
The rematch is officially on Gervonta, Tank Davis versus Lamont Roach. In a heated interview, the two fighters didn't hold back, exchanging intense words that revealed the tension between them. Tank spoke with his usual swagger, while Roach showed he's more than ready to fire back. Fans are buzzing, eager for a very different outcome than their previous fight. Rumors point toward an August date, but some fear delays might push the bout to October. A final confirmation would silence the speculation and set the stage for one of the year's most anticipated showdowns.
Match in July, you would think, makes the most sense that Tank and Roach are fighting in August. Unless they talking about pushing the shit all the way back to October, which would be a fucking tragedy. So, we hoping for August, because that's the one that's probably gonna make the most sense. Hopefully we'll get an announcement soon on that so we can stop speculating. Now, with that being said, the Tank Davis Lamont Roach rematch, it will be nothing like the first fight. And I'm tired of people telling me that, oh, Tank can't do nothing different. Lamont Roach just got his number. He fought the same that he always fight. Really. History shows us that that's never the case. As a matter of fact, we got Anthony Yarde and Lyndon Arthur just fought. I'll go to recent history.
This rematch won't be a repeat of their first clash. The idea that Tank Davis can adapt or that Lamont Roach has figured him out is simply flawed. Tank is a top-tier pound-for-pound fighter. He'll come back with new strategies and sharper skills. Roach is no pushover either, and both men are capable of elevating their game. The fight game is unpredictable, and with two elite competitors in the ring, the rematch promises to be electric. Lamont Peterson recently weighed in on Tank's power, saying that while Davis hits hard, he's not the most powerful opponent he's faced. Jonathan Owendo holds that title. Peterson's comments highlight how power varies across fighters and how even someone like Tank can be matched in physical force.
He fight how he always fight. He looked how he always looked in every single fight. Sadly mistaken. This idea that, oh, Lamont Roach he just got Tank number. He gonna fight like that again in the second fight. He could do this, he could do that, bro. Y'all are sadly mistaken if you think the second fight is gonna play out anything like the first fight, bro. Anything, it's not gonna go that way. Specifically when you fighting at the high level, bro. The highs are high levels. When you got a pound for pound talent in there like Tank Davis, a really great talented fighter that's skilled, that got everything that you could have, and you got somebody like Lamont Roach who's a very good fighter himself. Shit ain't gonna go down like that because the fight game, bro.
Shakur Stevenson has also entered the conversation, calling out Lamont Roach and expressing strong confidence in a rematch. Stevenson noted that past sparring sessions with Roach have given him deep insight into Roach's style and vulnerabilities. That experience, he believes, gives him a tactical advantage. Despite Roach's experience, Shakur is confident he can exploit those weaknesses and emerge victorious. His remarks show he's serious about the challenge and ready to prove he's evolved since their last encounter.
What does the rematch look like between Lamont and Gervonta, you think?
I like Lamont in the rematch.
I think you were one of the few that kind of picked Lamont to begin with. Why was that?
I sparred with Lamont. I knew that he was a good fighter. He helped me get ready for the Oscar Valdez fight. And I knew his style with Tank's style, what he was going to be able to bring to the table. I knew it. So,
did you really win 20 rounds?
I swear to God, on my daughter's life, I won that much money.
How different does a rematch look in your opinion, Shakur? What adjustments do you think we see from both?
Huh?
What adjustments do we see from both in a rematch?
I think I can't tell you game plans. I could be fighting these guys, so I'm gonna keep my secrets to myself. But truthfully, they both good fighters.
Do you think it's a lot different rematch, or do you think it'll be close again?
It's gonna be a hell of a fight.
How did you see Tank in that fight? A lot of people are saying maybe he's just mentally not there. What did you see?
Nah, he was the same Tank. I don't believe that. I don't got no thought in my brain that makes me think that he wasn't the person he been all of these other fights. I think he was the same person. All this stuff that he going through stuff. I mean, everybody go through stuff. So he's the same fighter. He's going to be the same fighter throughout his career. So
Shocker's call-out has only added fuel to the buzz surrounding Roach. Since earning a draw against Gervonta Davis, a feat no one else has achieved, Roach's reputation has skyrocketed. Before that, he was under the radar. Now he's a known threat. For Davis, this raises the stakes. He knows Roach is no longer the unknown quantity he once was. Roach believes he was robbed in the first fight and is more determined than ever to prove himself. With the rematch now locked in, he's focused on correcting past mistakes and walking away with a win.
I don't know, might be there a little longer.
Well, what we did see, is it going to be a rematch, or y'all still working on it, or what's the plan?
It's gonna be a rematch.
But it's
9
not
times out of 10,
sealed to
like,
deliver.
Yeah, it's on the way.
Okay.
I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm signed the seal.
Okay.
So we waiting on the other half. That's all.
Okay, cool.
I like when people say that my part is done.
Yeah, I did. Yeah. I did what I had to do.
Yeah.
Roach's training camp reflects his focus and intensity. He's moved up in weight, refined his technique, and is preparing specifically to counter Tank's power. He studied Davis's flaws and plans to exploit them. Far from being intimidated, Roach sees this as the moment to show how far he's come. Their first encounter revealed that Davis struggles when he can't control the tempo or handpick his opponent. Roach disrupted that pattern with calculated aggression and composure. This time, Roach isn't just coming to compete, he's coming to win by knockout.
That fight with Tank and Lamont Roach shows y'all how protected Tank has been for the past several years. And the people saying, oh, Tank know Lamont and he been respected Lamont because they fought in the amateurs. Man, he was cherry picking Lamont, and really thought he was gonna get that win. But Lamont wasn't coming to play around. He stood his ground and fought back. And to be honest, he won the fight. The rematch is going to be a knockout.
Jaron Ennis weighed in on the public's mixed reaction to Tank's performance. He pointed out that while fans often criticize Tank for not getting a knockout, they ignore his strong showing in the early rounds. According to Ennis, much of the backlash is fueled by unrealistic expectations or personal bias. He scored the fight a draw and emphasized that both fighters performed well. His comments highlight how public perception can distort objective analysis, especially when dealing with high-profile names like Davis.
Yeah, I gotta ask you about fights. Gervonta Davis, draw with Lamont Roach.
Yeah.
People looking at it as controversial because of the whole knee. What'd you think of the fight?
It was a great fight. I had it 7-5 Tank, or you can make it the draw, but I feel like Lamont, he did good. He did a great job, actually. I just don't think he did enough to pull it off. And I feel like people was overlooking what Tank was doing in the first 5-6 rounds. He was boxing and frustrating him a little bit. But Lamont, like I said before, Lamont did a great job.
Yeah, some people had it Tank, some people had it draw, some people had it Lamont. Do you think Tank gets a lot of criticism for not knocking Lamont out and Lamont not being in big names, so they overblow it?
I think so, yeah, and I feel like people just don't like Tank to a point where any little thing, just because he ain't knock him out, he probably feel like that he lost and he didn't, or it was a draw. I feel like Tank was doing a lot of smart things in the beginning, moving a little bit too much, but I feel like he was still frustrating him and things like that. And I think Tank did a good job. He looked sharp to me. I don't know. People just be talking. At the end of the day, you can't please everybody.
boxing legend Roy Jones Jr. also shared his insights, noting that Roach has always been a high-level fighter. Having observed his dedication for years, Jones believes Roach's draw with Tank was no fluke. He warned that Roach understands Tank's style better than most, thanks to their shared history. While Davis is favored, Jones urged fans not to dismiss Roach as an underdog. He's a serious contender with the tools to pull off an upset. For Tank, this fight is a critical hurdle before thinking about any future matchups.
You told him peace? You know, told him peace?
No, you said something else. You said something to smack home.
Yeah, you got a question?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, come on.
I mean, first thing we got to ask you what you think about this fight, champ.
I think it's a great fight. Two great guys. I think Roach is a great, formidable opponent. Tomorrow, Tank gonna test his Tank and see how good he is in the late round.
Presumably, Tank is supposed to, win this fight. This is a fight that there's not a lot of doubt about him coming out victorious in. So the talk shifts, and we got to know, Roy, from your perspective, Tank Shakur, when you think about that fight being a potential fight this year, how do you see it going?
I ain't gonna really think about that yet because I'm waiting after he finishes his fight with Roach. Roach is not just your average everyday opponent. Roach is a person who knows Tank, who's been around Tank his whole life. This is a different fight. You can't put Roach to the side like that. I'm sorry. Now, I'm not saying that he's gonna win the fight. I don't know that, but Roach cannot be this underrated like that. You understand? You gotta understand that Roach came from basically the same ecosystem as Tank came from. Roach is a very formidable opponent. So I'm not gonna talk about none of that till we get by Roach. Because what I'm telling you about the other stuff don't really mean nothing right now.
Okay, let me ask you this, because this did happen.
I'm feeling good always. How you doing?
I'm always good. You're a special fighter. Tank's a special fighter. What do you like about him? What makes him different?
I like that when Tank come to fight, Tank come to knock you out. Tank don't come to just beat you by decision. He come to take you out. He come to try to get the job done best way he can. And he loves to come there and entertain the fans. He's not there to play around. He's trying to smoke you. And that's what life's supposed to be about.
Beyond the ring, Tank Davis might be facing strategic challenges. Promoter Turkey Alil Sheikh reported that some groups are trying to block Davis from securing a venue in Houston. There are also efforts to schedule rival events at the same time to draw attention away. These tactics, while common in boxing, create added obstacles for Davis and his team.
I said that the reason that Gervonta Davis is having a problem is because people are trying to compete and block the venue. I said that people had told me that there were people that were trying to counter program Gervonta Davis in Houston for that fight, right? That's what I had said then. And that was something that I was like, yeah, it kind of seems like that. And why would I believe that? I would believe that, and I would believe that that would be true because that's a standard business practice in boxing. And it's a standard business practice in music. Now, it may be an underhanded one, but it is still one when you block venues or when you put on an event right next to that event on the same weekend. You can, or if you have a venue, make sure I say this very specifically, if you have a venue that you usually use and they just keep competing for every single solitary weekend, right? That's a way where you keep your competitors from being able to get a foothold and you start trying to crumble their business. Also, people have done that for boxers before, except for they did it informally, which is called doing what? Blackballing you. If you do not fight for a certain promoter, then that promoter is going to go out of their way to try to make sure that you don't have any fights. That's called blackballing. Similar to NBA basketball players, that's called blackballing.
This kind of maneuvering isn't unique to boxing. It's seen in industries like music too. The goal is to reduce visibility and crowd draw by saturating the market. While not illegal, it's a subtle form of sabotage. These business hurdles add complexity to Tank's path forward. Despite these efforts, Davis remains focused on the task at hand, winning the rematch and silencing the critics once and for all.
Except for they did it informally, which is called doing what? Blackballing you. If you do not fight for a certain promoter, then that promoter is going to go out of their way to try to make sure that you don't have any fights. That's called blackballing. Similar to NBA basketball players, that's called blackballing. When you have somebody like Mahmoud Abdul-Rauf, and Mahmoud Abdul-Rauf is a great player, but you don't like his religion. So what do? You blackball him. You put him on the bench. You cut him. When people he tries out for new teams, nobody wants to even give him a tryout, right? Got to go play overseas or something because you get blackballed. So what Knockout Boxing TV said, Knockout Boxing 86 TV said, was that his sources told him that Turkey, and he didn't say the specifics as long as I got into the video, but they're trying to stop Gervonta for having other fights, getting in the middle of the fights.